It's a little bit different today for the gospel because I'm in Seoul, Korea. So visiting a friend of mine who's a priest in the Archdiocese of Seoul. So here in Korea. One of the things I want to talk about is in the second reading. It says, brothers and sisters, through one man sin entered the world, and through sin death. So one of the things about it is that St. Paul is talking about original sin. And it's not just bad example. So again, bad example is you have parents who are drug abusers, or you have parents who are criminals. And so will the child end up being that way like their parents? It's not 100% guaranteed, because there certainly can times where a person could have a aunt or uncle, a grandparent, a coach, a teacher, somebody who's important in their lives, who is able to show the good example. And so they're able to overcome even that bad example and to become very productive, very wonderful people. And so that's the first thing that St. Paul wants to talk about, is that it's inherited. Everybody has original sin. It's not just by bad example and somehow we can skip a generation or skip a person in that situation. He also says that the trespass was not like the transgression is not like the cross. The gift that God gives is not like the transgression. And thank goodness for that, because when we think about the transgression, it's really that Adam and Eve believed that somehow they believed the devil, that somehow God was holding out on them, that God would be jealous of them, that they needed to take what God told them not to do. God offered them everything except one thing. And so what did they do? They focused on that one thing that they weren't given. They were somehow thought that God was holding out on them. They had to grab it. They had to take. And so sin entered the world. And so when we think about that, we think about envy. We think about all those kind of things that are sinful. So the transgression is that which is sinful. But again, we think about the gift, that love, that God, great love, brought him to the cross. And how could he have endured that cross except for that great love that he has for humankind? So again, the gift of God in the cross, not like the transgression. In the gospel, what you have is Jesus sending out the 12. And they probably are like, oh, this is good. We can kind of, do some ministry here. This is great. But I don't think they completely understand that Jesus is doing that as a preparation for the time that he's not going to be with them. Now he's certainly there with them. He can give them instruction. He can give them pointers. He can tell them what they need to know. But there's going to come a point where Jesus is not going to be with them physically. Certainly Jesus will be with them where two or three are gathered. Certainly he'll be there with them in prayer. Certainly he'll be with them in the Eucharist. Certainly all those things that we have today, he will be with them, but he was not going to be physically present with them. So what does he do? He talks beyond where they are right now. Where they are right now in the 10th chapter of the Gospel of Matthew, what you have is kind of a curiosity. The people are kind of curious as to who this Jesus is. Who is this guy going around doing these miracles? Is he, this ancient prophet has arisen? Is he, one of the miracle workers of old? Who is this guy? And so the people have that curiosity. But instead, what Jesus says is that they're going to, send you into the synagogues. They're going to bring you before the courts. They're going to do all these things to you. But, and again, what happens is he said, don't worry, because they can destroy the body, and certainly they can kill you, they can imprison you, but they can't kill the soul. And so what does he say? He says, are not two sparrows sold for a small coin, yet not one of them falls to the ground except for your Father's knowledge. Even the hairs on your head are counted. So be not afraid, you're worth more than many of these. So again, giving that confidence in the Lord. that even though the people might hate you, even though they might despise you, even though they might bring you before the synagogues, before the courts, because of me, don't worry, because I'm there with you. I will help you. I will guide you. I'll provide for you. And it doesn't mean that everything is going to be perfect, because certainly many were in prison, were martyred for their faith, but God was still with them throughout. Thanks, and God bless.